Welcome, and everybody on the call. Thanks for joining. First question tonight, Coach, is from Mark Murphy.
Hi, Brad. With the trouble that Rob has been having with his toe, do you now give him a prolonged rest instead of a day-to-day kind of thing? And are there any other players who fit into that category?
He got I want to say it was Monday, got a cortisone shot. And so we wanted to wait and see how that feels. It hasn't felt significantly better yet. And so, I think one of the balancing acts with that, Mark, is, if you don't do anything on it, then the first time you play on it is next week, whatever, is there any benefit to playing before that or practicing before that or being on it before that, right? Let alone if it doesn't get better and feel better. So I don't have any real update with when he would be back. Our plan is to be conservative with that. I think there's also an argument to be made for seeing what it feels like a few days from now.
Next up, John Corrales.
Hey, Brad, how has the approach shifted now that after last night's loss, you're pretty much in the 7th seed and you're not really chasing 4 or 5 or anything like that? Is there a difference in how you plan to play the guys, rest the guys minutes or so on?
We'll meet tomorrow night, as a staff, probably late afternoon and go over what we're going to do from here on out. Obviously Kemba doesn't play the second night of back-to-backs. Smarts was from the collision that he had with Robinson right in front of our bench. And then obviously Rob is still where Rob is with his toe. So there was no necessarily plan to sit any of those guys tonight with the exception of Kemba. And so we will reevaluate tomorrow and see if it's more solidified by then.
Another follow-up question from John Corrales.
Yeah, Brad. So if things had been different, if you had been still in the hunt for a higher seed, would Kemba have played?
We would have, addressed it like we normally had, but we said all along that no. So, he's feeling better. Could he have played? And we would have been, let's say that we're a couple games out, but still have a realistic shot, John. Then, do you push him and play him and then back to back, and then his knee swells up, and now all of a sudden you're hurting for next week? I don't know that would have been worth it. So our plan of attack has been to sit him on the second night of back to backs all the way through. But he's certainly gotten better. They certainly feel like that wouldn't be a huge stretch right now, but there's no reason to push it now.
Adam Himmelsbach.
It's obviously it's been a tough season, but especially these last couple of weeks with Jalen going out and where you're at in the standings now and everything like that. How do you, though, kind of ensure that guys don't let go of the rope now, that there is, you're still going to be in a postseason of some sort. You're still going to have a chance to play for what you want to play for. Well, you might not have your full team to do it. How do you ensure that guys stay kind of focused on that and locked in?
Yeah, I think if you're focused on how you're doing, you're not focused on what you're doing, right? And so that's the deal. Focus on what we're doing. Focus on what we have to do well to play well. We got guys that'll get new opportunities in the next, certainly tonight, and with guys out, this is a time where, again, you don't know who's going to get a chance in these games coming up. That's a good matchup for whoever we're playing. And so these 3 games are critical as we move forward into whatever next week holds. And so I think that's what you focus on. You don't pay it, you don't get caught up in what you've done in the past. Don't get caught up in all the different scenarios moving forward. Let's try to get caught up in playing better, which we did. We played better last night until that flurry in the third. And then, hopefully put more of a 48-minute game together to get a little bit momentum heading into next week. That would be the ideal. And then we'll, again, I think that'll also be balanced with, where do we stand and who needs rest, who can't play, and back-to-backs, et cetera.
Akron Beacon Journal, Marla Ridenour.
Yeah, Coach, Tristan Thompson didn't play last time you were here. I just wondered, where has he been the most valuable to you? And just, I'm sure he'll be fired up tonight.
Well, first of all, he brings a great deal of physicality, as you know. I mean, we know from all of our times playing against him in Cleveland. He's a guy that is on the, he's almost always available, right? He had some issues to start training camp, and then obviously the bout with COVID. But he's played through this pec strain that he has, and it was sore again today. He got hit again last night, but he just is usually available. And with our center situation being what it is, it's a good thing because he has certainly filled in whenever asked, right? So you start the year double bigs with him and Tice, then he plays a one center rotation, then he starts and he doesn't, whatever the case may be. He's kept a good attitude and he brings a great deal of physicality to our team. And he's clearly like a huge rotation piece as we move into the, postseason opportunities.
Final question for you, coaches, from Gary Washburn at the Globe.
Hey, Brad. One, why did Kemba leave the game last night? Is that something that had to do with his oblique? And secondly, how will you handle the backcourt? Is Marcus out for multiple games with this injury? How you shuffle these things in the last 3 games?
Well, we don't think Marcus's was a strain, Gary. We think it was a direct shot, so it's a contusion, which is a positive. Obviously, if you're talking about a calf strain, that could be a major issue, especially with a shortened timeline. So that's a good thing. And then Kemba did leave the game when he got hit there, but is doing great today. Felt great the rest of the game. So no concerns there. This was totally a typical load management day based on the fact that he doesn't play second day back-to-back for his knee.
Thank you, Coach. We'll wrap it up right there.